Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Red where I am playing Octopath Traveler 2. Last episode we finished off basically all of the side stuff that I still wanted to finish off. I can not really call this a 100% playthrough because I didn't get and do absolutely everything, but it's definitely close. I've done as much as I am honestly willing to do. Anyway. This episode we're going to go and see where this extra story takes me. Although I have an idea. Where this may lead me. Totally haven't been spoiled by everything at this point. But there's not... Honestly, like, I was already spoiled by something a long time ago. Which makes the other spoiler that I read earlier today not that big of a surprise. Anyway. Enough talking about spoilers. More about going to the place. To do the thing.
Here I go.
Whatever that thing may be.
Hunt or be hunted.
This is interesting though that I'm now just here.
Fire, how weak.
Fire, how weak. Alright.
Life is too precious to risk.
Take this!
Good hunt to Hara. Well, I know no cure for evil.
The journey for the dawn draws near. If you proceed, the actions you can take will be limited for a while. Any tales you wish to experience are best completed before the journey for the dawn, but the choice is yours. You can still save your progress after this point, but saving in a different slot is recommended.
The fire won't catch.
Let's give it another go, Agnia. Every failure brings us one step closer to success, eh?
Right. We just have to keep trying. We've brought firewood, you two. Thank you so much, Casty. Be careful. A fire's not worth getting wounded over.
If it's flames you want, I can do it.
Not so fast, partner. How else are we gonna work up a sweat?
If you insist on being so inefficient.
We're back. We didn't find any beasts lurking about.
But we did find this water. Goodness, physical labor has never really agreed with me.
There's nothing like a good meal after a hard day's work, Temenos.
Speaking of which, I wonder how the hunters are faring. Heave! Heave! Ta-da! It's not a feast without a main course.
A feast? This is enough meat for a butcher shop.
I didn't think hunting would be so much fun.
You've got the stuff that great hunters are made of, Throne. Ochek would know.
Oh, are you retiring from the cleaning business, Throne?
Quiet, detective.
Well then, I believe that's most everything. All that remains is... Everyone's counting on us to light up their evening. It's time to get serious, Particio.
These two are quite a pair.
Agnia.
higher. You can do it.
We'll show this pile of sticks who's boss.
Uh,
There we go.
This will be a night to remember.
I think you might be right.
Now we feast.
This is nice. Truth be told, this isn't where I imagined my journey would take me.
I know what you mean.
As do I.
That's what makes journeys worth taking. You never know where you'll end up.
Oh, what's wrong? Are you cold?
Doubtless someone in Ku is gossiping about you at this very moment.
Perhaps they miss me as much as I miss them. My friends back home. I've learned much in our travels, and I hope I can use it to help my friends and nation.
I know you, Ohikari. And everyone's lives will be brighter for it.
Thank you.
Even after this journey ends, I'm going to keep on dancing around the world until I can dance no more.
Mind if I tag along? With Particio and Rock backing us, we can hop on the steam locomotive and bring smiles to every corner of the world.
That sounds amazing.
With one of those, you could save your feet for the important part, dancing. And I could extend a helping hand to places I've never even dreamt of.
Will you keep on with Air's apothecaries, Cassidy?
I want to resume my search for like-minded allies.
Now that's a dream I can get behind.
Yeah, me too.
I'm afraid there's one problem with this planet of yours. If you consider how many people there are in this world, then
There's no room for logic in the realm of dreams, Professor.
duly noted.
What'll you do, Oswald?
I have some unfinished business to complete. There are many answers that have yet to be found.
Is that so? It's writ plain on your face. You're worried about your daughter.
There's one answer found.
And what of you, Tamanos? Have you found yours?
Almost. It's like a piece of meat stuck in between my teeth.
Ugh, I know what you mean. I hate that.
So, something's still troubling you, in other words?
Precisely.
So, your days as a detective aren't over yet, then. Well, I'm here if you need an assistant. Assuming you can afford me, that is.
My goodness. You're awfully greedy for an assistant. Even if I said yes, I'm sure you have your own path in mind.
I do. I want to go somewhere far away. To a place that isn't on any map. A place no one knows about.
A place none have laid eyes upon.
You all have such big hopes and dreams. I just want to feast every day. And to keep the people of Totohaha safe, of course. Should I be aiming higher?
Ah, seems like you've got some meat stuck in your teeth.
Don't worry, Ochet. That's a fine dream.
I suppose it is. Look, a shooting star! I wonder what tomorrow will bring.
Sorry. Ah, for the love of God.
Huh? Was that a dream?
The sneezing, yeah. Definitely.
I had an odd dream. There was a dark place, somewhere completely unfamiliar.
And a dark fire was blazing.
I saw the same thing.
Wait, are you yanking my chain? I saw it too.
We all had the same dream. Could it be a coincidence?
I very much doubt that.
I feel as if I've seen that place somewhere before.
I slept like a baby full of milk, though. Huh. Is it still night?
Strange. Dawn should be upon us soon.
We should patrol the area.
I can barely see a thing.
Huh? The stars. They're all gone. And the sky is pitch black.
Something is amiss. This is no natural nightfall.
Oh, Chet?
I felt this. It's just like before. On your guard, everyone!
Something's coming, and it isn't friendly.
It's here.
I'm the hunter, you're the prey!
Thinking time.
Shadowy demon fish. A demon jellyfish.
I'll tell you.
That's a wild name. Oh, my nose. Jesus Christ.
Here I go.
I did not need that right now.
Axe attack.
Here we go! Come on!
Monkey. I guess I can try case.
Catapult, go, go, go! Nice.
Well, axe attack. I'm terribly sorry.
No. Calculations complete.
Let me go and try the 1-2 magic. I haven't tried it yet.
This is the answer.
I love his music. It's so good.
What was that?
Cassidy and I have seen beasts like that before.
At the time, we had no idea what they were. Their nature.
I've seen them too. The black aura resembles the one true magic wielded by Harvey. He called it the Shadow.
A shadow. What is it?
I cannot say for certain. Not now, in any case.
Mysterious monsters. Just what we need.
You know next to nothing of this phenomenon. Not even the extent of its reach.
Does this shroud cover only this forest? Or is it much larger?
Nothing for it but to check for ourselves.
On that, I agree.
Well, we need to do something.
Unfortunately, we lack the information to know just what that something is.
As an apothecary, I simply cannot leave this matter be. Somewhere, someone cries out for aid. And I must extend my hand to all those in need.
Eternal night has descended upon the world. The travelers decide to set out on a final journey to find the cause. Your destination will not be shown on the radar. Search for clues and find your heading. You can check your formation at any time. You can change your formation at any time from the main menu. Oh. Welcome to your fellow travelers on an epic journey. We've been waiting a while, and the sun still ain't rising. What in the world's going on? I don't know, but it's nothing good, that's for sure. If those strange monsters earlier were a product of this darkness, then we must figure out the cause of this long night, and soon. Couldn't agree more. First, we search for clues. Now you're talking, so where do we start? Come on now, you must have some idea, right? Why don't we look for places like this one? What do you mean? I mean other areas shrouded in the shadow. There are more? Can't say for sure, but it's the only heading we have. Fair point, standing still will get us nowhere. Let's start by searching for other places blanketed in darkness. Alright, looks like it's time to hit the dusty trail once again. So is that something I can see? Yes. Okay. So specifically Felsen Ruins, huh? Isn't this the place where the little girl was walking? You know, since we're gonna be like running around and doing all kinds of stuff, I kind of expected this to be just like a straight shot to, you know, the end of the game. Which I guess it kind of is, but I don't know actually. So we're gonna take use of this. We're gonna make use of this. And we're gonna level up more jobs. Oh my god, I can just... Oh. This is... I need this. I needed this so long. Anyway. You can have that. And that. Okay. Alright. I scratch my leg. And off we go. So now we will be dealing with all of these
Now
like,
it begins.
constantly, which is intriguing.
No quarter.
Let's go. Come on then. It's my turn now.
Hmm. I don't know what your
The
weaknesses are.
winds of favor blow.
Here I go. Axe attack.
Now,
Everything sure as hell is pretty dang beefy.
the winds of favor blow.
Now it begins.
Yeah, he doesn't really have what I was looking for. We're gonna try
Allow
this.
me.
This way I can see if they were weak to ice, maybe.
Well now.
Which they aren't, but they're gonna die from this anyway.
Axe attack. Has to be done. My journey will not end here. You are a poison that must be purged. What to do? What to do? Axe attack. There.
Horrific claw. Yay.
The winds of favor blow. I see now.
Prepare yourself.
I guess I can try to
Allow
experiment.
me.
Next.
Let's go.
Let me go and just try to bonk him with this.
Come on then.
Nope. Darkness.
Hold it.
Let's go.
Arrows. Really?
Here.
Swords.
My blade sings. Who's next? I still have much to learn.
Life is too precious to risk.
Let's go.
This is insane, and I love it. Although I was kind of hoping to have a better idea,
What to do?
or a better grasp of like how powerful or weak I am compared to the content that I'm facing.
All right.
It kind of seems like it's fine.
My
Like I
turn.
actually feel like I'm now dealing with like
How's this?
I feel like I'm on the level that I'm supposed to be with my entire party. Like outside of Casty, because Casty's OP. Blinding sting. Stings, doesn't it?
The winds of favor blow. Sorry.
Prepare.
Right.
Can I capture these? Yeah, untamable. I don't know why I thought that would be possible.
Ready to be prey? My prey awaits. Come on then. It's my turn now. The winds of favor blow.
Well now. Axe attack.
My turn. How's this? Here. My blade sings. For the pride of Ku.
Getting a lot of shadow cell stones, which makes sense. I'm just going to check out these houses just in case. No, okay. So I do have to go into the ruins, I'm pretty dang sure. Why can I not find your weakness? What the fuck?
Here I go.
That thing just doesn't have a weakness. Well, it probably has like all elemental weaknesses. If I had to hazard a wild guess.
No
Sure.
quarter.
Let's go.
Let's go and try this.
Go on then.
Yeah. Definitely all elemental weaknesses.
Here I go.
All right.
I guess I can go and do this.
Fire burns within you.
Prepare you. I've got it.
My prey. All right. I did it.
3,000.
Even
That's
if
pretty
I
good.
stumble, I'll get back up.
Okay. Journal Fragment 1. I did a diary. I finally got hired as a scrivener, and for the Delta Times too, all the world's information flows through a newspaper, a river of facts alongside a paper water wheel, an endless procession of scoop, scoop, scoop. As a journalist, I'll dash out about the world investigating, uncovering and breaking news. What better way for me to carry out my mission? I've thought about this a lot, and everyone has some fact they're hiding. Vast sums of knowledge locked in noggins the world over, but how to crack open these repositories and acquire those tasty little secrets within? That's the rub, of course. As I am now, I doubt that I have the dexterity to pick any of those cranial locks. I was raised in isolation, always out of the loop, hiding quietly on the outskirts of society. There's a positive way to spin that, though. I spent all the time that I wasn't talking to people observing them. Here's what I learned. People let their guard down around cute little animals. A scouting guard captain will play cuddly coo with an adorable puppy, and soon confess all his gripes and add to the precious thing. And so I will become the puppy. I'll wager my little doggy tail. I'll wag my little doggy tail. Act the part of a friendly little non-threatening furball and slide right into people's confidences. My brother may be the soaring eagle with his bird-eyes view, but I'll be a sharp-eyed hound, keeping my nose to the ground and sniffing out every last detail I can find.
Let the show begin.
It's too dark in
Let's
here.
go. Go on then.
This place is too damn
Here I
dark.
come. How's this? Time to strike.
You did it, Hikari. The winds of favor blow.
Here I go.
Slap. I love that sound. Such a good sound.
Axe attack. Has to be done.
Time.
This may hurt. Good. I still have much to learn.
My oldest memory is crimson, a spray of bright red droplets and a harrowing scream. A crowd fleeing in all directions and enemy soldiers mercilessly cutting down innocents. Some of them even laughed as they did it. Amidst this I was a stone, still in my tender years. I neither cried, nor wept, nor cowered, but merely watched the chaos unfold. Being raised in a war-torn land does things to an impressionable mind. And I suppose something had already broken inside me. I would have died that day, cut down like the rest, were it not for my brother. His cunning carved a path for us out of that hellish place. My brother is brilliant, so much so that the enemy king spared him if he would serve. Yet despite his genius, despite how shrewd the plans he proposed were in their attempt to avoid bloodshed, the blood always flowed. Humans steal, they kill, they take and they take and they take. Lives, possessions, land. It's a state of our nature. A simple fact of our existence. My brother and I have seen so much together, and we've both reached the same conclusion. The world doesn't deserve to see another dawn. The life of man is nasty, brutish, and ugly. Why not make it short? I need her on our side, and I need you to convince her that's a good idea. My brother's face was flushed as he handed me the letter addressed to Rai Mei. Perhaps... Sorry. I was... Perhaps he'd been in his cups. I didn't need to ask him why he would be celebrating. The fundraising in Montwise was going swimmingly. On my way home I spotted Hikari. He's the key to everything in Ku, and if our machinations go according to plan, my brother will get what he's after. I doubt Hikari has a clue who I am, another tactic proposed by Brother Dearest. No prior familiarity with me will help move things along down the line. But though Hikari doesn't know anything about me, I certainly know a lot about him. Hikari has another side to him, a second personality that my brother says was born from his family's cursed lineage. Somewhere in the past, Clan Ku's blood mingled with that of the infamous Archmage Darkest, sparking a history of war and sacrifice, a more odious bloodline I do not know. As I passed Hikari in the street, for a moment I felt as if our eyes met. His gaze was steady and true, just as it was when he was a boy. How had that bright spark in his eye not dimmed over time? He had seen the same horrors I had, been through the same terrible war. This is bad. Hikari was captured before I had the chance to deliver my brother's letter to Rai Mei. If Hikari is killed, it'll ruin everything and we'll have to start over from scratch. Clan Mei calls the Fortress of Stormhail its home, coldest place in Celestia, and I hate it. Time is of the essence, yet this frigid blizzard is battering me about like a leaf in the wind. If only I could take 2 steps without being blown 3 back. By the time I finally reached Stormhail, Hikari had already been released. I can only assume he managed to sway Rai Mei on his own. I handed my overdue missive to one of Rai Mei's retainers and quickly put that shitty place behind me. Oswald is sentenced to life imprisonment. Took me a moment to process the judge's verdict. I blinked, doubting my ears. What was going on here? He was supposed to be executed, wasn't he? I ran as fast as I could to find Harvey. I should have known that swine had stuffed leaves into the judge's pocket to bribe him into that decision. Why? I want to see the power of my perfect magic. That's his reason. The blighted fool. Pride. Worthless pride. We need the Book of Demons complete. What if Oswald somehow finds a way to interfere? When I gave my report to my brother, he simply said, just watch the spectacle unfold. Apparently my brother had already taken Harvey's massive ego into account when he made his contract with the man. If that's the case, then I suppose this isn't a problem after all. Regardless, I should hurry and gather what information I can about Frigid Isle. I concealed myself among the chattering students and slipped into Harvey's lecture. The Book of Demons is nearly complete, so he was in a jovial mood. When I saw my chance, I gave Harvey the news. Oswald had tried to escape Frigid Isle and died in the attempt. I thought the news would throw his high spirits off a cliff, but instead he just started giggling. It was creepy. When he finally settled down, he merely said, I need to prepare for my guest's arrival, and vanished back into his laboratory, humming cheerfully all the while. It's like he thinks Oswald is alive. Is Oswald alive? It can be, and yet if so, then he will come here to find Harvey and seek his vengeance. Wait, this could be perfect. I doubt Harvey will honor our agreement and hand over the Book of Demons without a fuss. If I can set those two against each other, it might create the perfect opportunity to slip in and swipe the book. I wonder if my brother had predicted this too. Harvey has left for Duskruin Shrine. The remains of Archmage Darkest will provide the final piece that Harvey needs. The Book of Demons will soon be complete. I found a nice, cozy place to conceal myself, and sure enough, Oswald showed up. Just as predicted, the two fought it out, and I was able to retrieve the Book of Demons in the wake of their battle. There was one surprise, however. Harvey escaped alive. What was that bright flash of magic? A glimpse of a force that may dwarf even that of the Book of Demons? That girl, does she have some special power within her?
Let the show begin.
I really don't need these enemies when I'm like reading this massive freaking lore. I'll just shoot you.
My prey awaits. Come on then.
So what was her name again? The Scrivener?
Allow me.
I don't remember her name, but she seems to be the person, or the person that is writing this.
Be done. My journey will not end here.
Oswald entrusted the girl Elena to his assistant before setting off on a journey. Like Alpatis, the blood of the Lumina family runs in Elena's veins. We need to continue monitoring her to watch for suspicious signs. Day after day, Elena, whatever, sits at her desk and pours herself into her studies. A diligent girl, I suppose, but I'm curious as to why her brow sometimes wrinkles as she cradles her head in her hands. Still, her eyes are bright and her gaze seemingly set on some happy goal far off in the distance. A marked difference from when I saw her in Harvey's company. There was only worry and fear in her eyes then. My heart nearly leapt out of my throat when I heard that assistant's voice suddenly ring out behind me. "Can I help you, miss?" I immediately turned and tried to distract and dissemble with my tried and true cover story. "Can I interest you in a newspaper subscription?" She smiled then, eyes warm, but I sensed a keen suspicion burning deep within those friendly eyes. I will not underestimate her again. No one else has ever noticed me when I didn't want to be fine. I'll need to abandon my surveillance. Too risky. Besides, I've seen nothing suspect in all the time I've watched Elena. Might as well move on to the more important matters. Well, here I am in Candlebrine. The word is that I can find someone who has the last pages of the Book of Knight's original manuscript, Caldina, Captain of the Sacred Guard. Seems to be moving as Arcanet predicted, and assembling these pages. Yes. There's a potential problem, however. A nosy inquisitor named Temenos seems to have caught wind of all this. Arcanet has her eye on him, but I can only pray he doesn't make any problems for us. I need to be careful not to draw his attention, too. The Book of Night is close to being fully restored. Once it is, I'll need to move quickly to retrieve it and fulfill my mission. Allying myself with Arcanet was merely the easiest way to that end. My brother did tell me to be wary of her, however. He was quite forceful about it. I wonder why. There's so much lore! Caldina, Captain of the Sacred Guard, is driven by a lust for vengeance. To achieve that end, she seeks to make the power of Shadow her own. And with the restored Book of Night in hand, she sets out for the Twilight Shrine. Her naive dream of avenging her people will never become reality. Why, you ask, dear diary? Because the right Arcanet taught her is purposely flawed. So there I was, hiding in the shadows of the Twilight Shrine and waiting for the perfect opportunity. Lo and behold, Caldina's right went awry and she transformed into a most hideous form. No one told me I'd have to deal with some horrible monster. This is above my pay grade. Luckily, I had no need to fear. That Temenos showed up and handled the Caldina problem for me. I suppose Arcanet was behind his well-timed arrival. What a puppet master. Bravo. I finally understand why my brother warned me to keep an eye on her. I slipped down to the ritual site after Temenos made its exit and retrieved the Book of Night. All that's left is to combine it with the Book of Demons, and we'll be able to complete the Darkblood Grimoire. Here I am, grand old Timberain, just in time for the coronation ceremony. Word on the street is that an apothecary named Trousseau is going to reign on the parade with a storm infused with shadow energy. His goal, and I quote, is to extend a hand to save all in need. What a nice notion. Let's rewind the clock. It was 1 year ago that Trousseau lost hope in the future and started down this path. He was out gathering medicinal herbs when he stumbled into Lost Seed. There he met Claude, who gave him the Book of Night. Claude was disappointed with the encounter, it seems. He had swayed Trousseau to his side, but couldn't persuade an apothecary in the man's company. With a regretful sigh, he told me that this other apothecary's eyes were filled with a motherly strength. Deep wells of kindness that belied a sense of fire determination. What was her name again? Ah, yes, Casti. She stopped Trousseau, saw the people of Timberain to safety, and even dealt with the poison rain. I said that wasn't enough, she also managed to mix up medicine that could combat the shadow on the spot. Claude's intuition was right. Casti is someone to keep an eye on. My brother will need to know that we have another dangerous potential wrench in our plans. I met a merchant today in Clockbank, an honest fellow with laughing eyes named Patricio. He's boasted that he'll rustle up 80 billion leaves and buy the rights to the steam engine from its current owner, Mr. Rock. Then he'll give the technology away to everyone. When pressed on why, he said, "Things like this should be shared with the whole world." Patricio confuses me. If I can borrow that ruthless Rock's words, it is human nature to take from others and give unto oneself. Despite his noble declarations, I'm sure Patricio will prove himself no different from the other slime. Greed and self-interest will win out in the end. They always do. Still, I'm vaguely curious as to how his story will play out. I'll follow this Patricio, though I'll keep my expectations low. Placing your faith in others only gets you betrayed in the end. My brother made a deal with Harvey. Craft the Book of Demons, an evil tome set to be imbued with the magic of Darkest himself. Why, you ask? Well, dear diary, because we needed to restore the Darkblood Grimoire. The rub here is that neither my brilliant brother nor even Claude knows how to make this tome. Thus, the need for Harvey. The one thing my brother does know is that the remains of Darkest are key components. When I shared that vital tidbit, Harvey smiled. That's all I needed. Sounds like he was already most of the way there. He's a valuable asset, so we'll do everything we can to assist him. Harvey has an unhealthy obsession with a scholar named Oswald. Well, let's call it what it is, a severe inferiority complex. Harvey told me he'd gladly give up the Dawn if it meant he could best that man. We let Harvey read the Book of Night in order to pull him into our intrigues, but honestly, I think it wasn't necessary. That bottomless well of envy in his gut, properly manipulated, would likely have been motivation enough. Besides, I don't trust him. No normal person can fathom that twisted mind of his. But he's just gone and done it. He has gone and done it. He's humbled Rock and actually wrestled the rights to the steam engine from that greedy tycoon. Still, it's nothing compared to what he did next. He actually gave it away, just as he said he would. Things like this should be shared with the whole world, sniffed up to a grandiose statement and then some. The heat of his passion even melted Rock's icy heart, and I didn't think the desert sun was hot enough to do that. So, taking a step back, what Porticio did is impossible, unimaginable, inconceivable. I've observed countless people in my time, and to date, every one of them is motivated to varying degrees by self-interest. People are always willing to step on others to achieve their own interests. But Porticio, is he truly different? Is he someone who can at last transform this dark, ugly world into something wonderful? What do you think, brother?
I'll do what I must.
I think I'm gonna be fighting some Shadow Boys.
What to do? What to do? Axe attack. Right.
This game is wild, and I love it. I did not expect it to take an even bigger turn.
All right.
I don't need to do this once.
Fire burns within you.
My... No quarter. Who's next?
My prey.
Here I...
Time to shine. Sorry. Even if I stumble, I'll get back up.
Welcome to my humble castle. That was how he greeted me when I arrived in Lost Seed. Before he took me on a casual stroll through that rotting mausoleum of a town, I struggled not to gag on a stench of death and decay. All the while him smiling and breathing deep as if taking in the airs of a tranquil mountain meadow. This ghastly man's name is Claude, and he's the descendant of the infamous Archmage Darkest. It is said that his notorious grandfather gave him a taste of the blood of the malevolent god of darkness, Vide, frighteningly enough, while he was still in the womb. As a result, the man is blessed with eternal youth. With the blood of Darkest and Vide within his veins, Claude's fate was to become the Dark God's vessel. And yet he rejected his destiny and instead chose to pass that honor on to his offspring. For our part, we don't care who the vessel is, just that we have one, Claude. However, seems to have preferences in the matter. Preferences, fah. The man sired countless children with countless women and set his progeny at each other's throats to the bloody victor goes the ultimate spoils. I shivered as he looked me up and down, his eyes seeming to pierce my very soul. It was as if he was seeking to plant a murderous seed inside me too. When he handed me the Darkblood staff, he told me that the woman who stole it from him has a lot of potential. These words, my purpose in Lost Seed fulfilled, I hurried out of there. I can't wait to hand that staff over to Arcanet and let her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. Dear Diary, today I met with Petrichor, the woman known as the Dark Hunter. I introduced her to Professor Harvey several years ago at Arcanet's request. She was talkative today and had this to say. I met Arcanet when I was young, and it was then that I swore myself to her service. Ever since, I have hunted for her and her alone, even slaying the legendary monster known as the Guardian of the First Flame at her behest. Sometimes I hunted people too, like the time I came to possess the Dark Blood Bow. Once again my lady has use of me, and so I shall gladly obey. I nodded along, and when she was finished she showed me a monster. This beast, which she had captured on Totohaha, looked at me with eyes filled with loathing for all that walked on this earth. I asked her what it was, and she told me the result of years of brutal conditioning and a healthy dose of Harvey's science for good measure. The result, an abomination crafted through repeated and horrifying experiments. I nodded again. A soul this steeped in despair would surely prove to be a great source of power. It seems that leaving the flame of Totohaha in her care should prove no issue. I can't believe it. How did Particio turn an economic desert of a town into a hopping commercial hub? That business idea of his was inspired. Wait, whatever. I must admit that watching Auron's apartment store come to life woke something warm inside me. I told Particio that the world's filled with people groaning under the weight of 1,000 problems. It's fresh ideas like this that bring a ray of joy into troubled lives. For once, I really truly meant what I said. I should never have poured my heart out in public like that. Suppose my declaration was proof that he's cracked my emotional defenses and convinced me to believe in him. In my defense, he's really something else. Before I knew it, I was promising to help. Truth is, I'm excited to see what magic he'll pull out of his Particio hat next. Guess what, dear diary? This is the first time I've ever helped someone for something that wasn't directly related to my mission. Let me stop for a moment and also appreciate the fact that he convinced the Alron to invest 80 billion leaves in him. 80 billion! The question is, will Particio prove to be a man of integrity? Would he really use those leaves to help the world and not just to line his own pockets? Just a little bit longer, only a little bit, mind. I find myself needing to see what he does next. Sacred flame has been doused. Perhaps it can be rekindled with something. Statue of Alpha and the Scholar King. The words carved in the base. O inheritor of our will. Let the mirror shine and kindle a fire in your heart to chase away the darkness. I have the mirror. Ah, there it is. Nice! Nothing happened. The two gods gaze upon the sacred flame's dais. I think I need specific people, yeah? I need the merchant and... Oh, that's interesting, because both of them were here. Oh. Okay, I need you and you. Also, for the sake of... You know... potential encounter, let me go into this. Because somehow I don't really think that they're gonna make me get away with this. Sure. There we go. The mirror reflects the memories of the sacred flame.
Now what have we got here?
Ori, there we
A
go.
sacred flame? Here of all places? Have I stumbled upon a scoop once again? Why, I believe I have.
This used to be an enclosed mural. Yes, I was wondering, like, how have I not noticed this?
I'm glad that's done. There's no need to keep up this cloying facade. To wear the mask of a chipper, unflappable scrivener. No. Now I bring an end to this dark, wretched world. To liberate its people from their pain, their suffering, and their hatred. Just like I swore to you, brother. Together, we will usher in the night. I kept a close eye on the travelers, all while my allies and I worked behind the scenes. Until at last, I found the book I sought. The Dark Blood Grimoire. With it, I will smother the sacred flames, that they will never again light the way for the dawn. I offer this gift of blood. May the flames turn cold and dark. Mortals. Gods. Who was it that drew the line between them? The blessed? The accursed? Us? Them? Particio. Would that we had never met. I'm sorry.
The forsaken flame burns anew. Ori. I heard from an apothecary in town. A woman was found collapsed near the sacred flame and brought there for treatment. She had brown hair and wore a cap, much like a scrivener. After she regained consciousness, she simply vanished. That's Ori. It's gotta be. But if that's true, then what saved her? It appears her wounds fell just short of being fatal. She must have changed her mind, just in the nick of time. She started working walking toward the dawn. Well, I can hazard a guess as to why she hesitated. I believe it was thoughts of you that saved her life. Me? Now don't be ridiculous, like I'd have anything to do with that. Well, no matter, as long as she's alive, all's well. But just where did she wander off to? Huh, sure am lucky that you're around to cheer me up, eh? Our journey isn't over. We do well not to waste time in idle conversation. But if you must talk, then perhaps a different topic of conversation would suffice. Oswald. Thank you kindly. Well then. This is fucking insane. And I love it to bits. As they say, my friends, good soup. However, this seems to be a lot more work than I expected it would be. So I will... Well, I was definitely going to end up the episode over here because, you know, it's already 52 minutes. But as much as I would have loved to be able to finish the game in this day, I am going to need to stop recording now. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of just us playing Octopath Traveler 2. And next episode we are going to go out and make our way to the next place, the Tranquil Grotto. Goodbye.